So here's the update on the 48-foot tall DIY passive ICF house that I'm mostly building on my own. And that is, unfortunately, I've run out of PTO. So over the course of the year, I've taken about 530 hours of PTO. My boss has been very kind and generous. And I've still been working 10 to 20 hours a week. But for the most part, I've been able to focus just working on the house. Well, I'm not out of PTO. So now what my schedule is I wake up around 4 a.m. and then work until about 12 noon, come over, work on the property until about 5:30 or 6 till it gets too dark, go back home, finish up my hours, and rinse, repeat. And then on Saturdays, I do get the full day. So anyways, things are probably going to slow down a little bit, but still able to get a lot done, mainly because my dad has been coming over in the afternoons and helping out. So huge shout out to him. So anyways, just wanted to cover some of the things that have been able to get done. And that is, so this is the concrete pad. I've got 3 concrete pads down here in the crawl space. And that concrete pad is going to be carrying the weight of the 15-inch glulam beams, because going down the center of the home, all 5 stories, I've got a glulam beam that's going to be holding up these open web floor trusses. So before I could put in the glulam beam and those posts that you see, I first needed to drill the holes to put in the Simpson bolts, and then that's a Simpson cap that the 8-inch by 8-inch wood posts are going to go into. So needed to drill that out. In just a second, I'll show you some of the drilling options that I have. But the other thing too is you also put epoxy in, and that's what the structural engineer called for. So right now that's currently setting up. And then here's the 8-inch by 8-inch post that's just temporarily helping to hold up the open web floor trusses that have a lot of weight of all of the build block that I have sitting on top, as well as the snow. And so I was able to drill those out, so that epoxy is setting up. And then over here, real quick about the 2 drills. So I started off with the $20 version, and it worked. It was okay. But then a YouTube commenter said, hey, what you really need to get is the SDS hammer drill. And so anyways, I went ahead and invested the $70, got a couple bits, so maybe another $15, $20 more, and it works a lot better. So I was able to quickly drill those holes. And then the other thing that I was able to do with that hammer drill is I used both the drill and the chisel feature, and I was able to chisel out an additional 2 inches, because as you see, where I originally had it, I made a mistake, so I had to chisel out some more. But it wasn't that big of a deal. It took maybe 45 minutes with that new tool. And then I'll go ahead and show you what the glulam beams look like. So that's the 15-inch glulam beam. One of the changes that we've decided to make, so this is just temporary to hold up all of that weight while I was able to drill. But one of the changes that we've decided to make is we'll go ahead and keep our 8-inch by 8-inch wooden post down here in the crawl space, because it's just a crawl space. But once we get up into the basement, then we're going to switch over to 6-inch metal posts for the basement level. And then going up to the first, second, and third level, we'll actually be switching over to 4-inch posts. So another one of those things where you kind of wish that you would have figured that out beforehand, but that's all right. It only cost $300 to have the structural engineer redo that. Here's one of the Simpson ties. So I need to plane that out a little bit so that it'll fit, because it's designed for an 8-inch post, but these are rough hewn 8-inch posts, so I need to shave off just a little bit. And then that goes over the post, and then the glulam beam actually sits on top of there. So in essence, it goes connecting that Simpson cap to these very large concrete, so anyways, these concrete pads carry all of the weight from all of those posts and floors, gets it all transferred down to these concrete pads. And then the other thing that also gets transferred to is because I still have to do a couple other additional features, but I'll be adding those hopefully next week, and I'll shoot a video. And then the beam transfers the weight to the 2 or 3 inches of concrete that it's sitting on. So that's how that works. And then the big thing that we did, big pun intended, so this is the 16-foot tall room that's underneath the garage. And I've got the I-joists that go across. I'll be using those for my roof later on. And then I have the subfloor, and then on top of it, I have the build deck, which is how the suspended concrete floor system will work for the garage. Technically, 12 inches on center for this particular I-joist can actually span 24 feet. I've only got it spanning about 19 feet. And it should be able to handle the weight of 4 inches of concrete and all the rebar. But I'm a little bit worried about deflection in the middle. So what I did was I went ahead and we built these load-bearing walls. So we built these load-bearing walls, 2 of them, and did some additional bracing. So now it's all pretty stiff. And so as the weight of the concrete gets transferred to the joists, then that'll also transfer to this load-bearing wall. And one of the other things that I did too is I went ahead and used my 2x12s that I'll be using in my floor joists in a different part of the house. I went ahead and I have the bottom of the 2x4 load-bearing wall sitting on top of these 2x12s, just so that it has more area to transfer any weight that is put on it down to the rock below. So that's basically what we've been able to accomplish this week, and hopefully next week I'll be able to show you the posts and beams down here in the crawl space that will have those installed. And cross my fingers, maybe even I'll be able to get to putting in more block depending on the snow up top and then also be able to show you some windows as I install those. So anyways, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.